I take pride that I have only 30% male following because I offend them a lot with my content. Sometimes you just post some revealing content and people say that, okay, it's only boys who are following. My content is anti-patriarch. It kind of offends people who are patriarchal.
Yes. What are these hateful comments like?
They are terrible. The one that I receive is mostly on my measurement.
They want you to be 36, 24, 36.
I'm so comfortable in my skin that I don't care.
It's interesting how the definition of beauty is so standardized in a way.
But that doesn't stop me.
What are you insecure about?
I'm not very comfortable talking in front of camera.
Got you on a podcast, so I think you're doing brilliant. Most of your reels, like 10 million views. How do you do that?
Make it as relatable as possible. Add a bit of truth to it so people would love it.
Almost the voice of these women.
They start resharing it on their stories and they want to tell their story with my reel.
Yes. Welcome to Women of Wonder by Reema Mahajan, or Wow Women as we lovingly call it. This is our initiative to share stories of empowered and ambitious women so that we can all get inspiration from their journeys. My guest today is really special and one of the leading fashion content creators in town. She has a following of more than 100,000 across social media channels and has recently won the Filmfare Awards too. Welcome, Sonam. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Lovely to have you here. And given fashion is the content which, women like us relate a lot. So I'm looking forward to what we are going to discuss. So let's start with your journey. How did Instagram happen? How did the profile of Sonam Pirani come on Instagram? Is that your full-time job or do you do something else?
So I also have a day job, but Instagram is my side hustle and my passion as well. Coming to how it was born during COVID times back in India when I was living with my parents, I wanted to start my own brand, which is in sustainable fashion. And I was creating content for that page.
Right.
And while I was creating content for that page, it started going viral. But it was purely for my brand, not for me. But when it started going viral, I saw so much potential. And I was obviously, from that brand, I was collaborating with a lot of influencers, content creators. And I saw the potential this market has. And that's how I got the idea of starting.
So the brand was born in India. And how long you've been in Dubai then?
So brand was in India. I operated it for a year. Then I moved some of it to here as well. And I'm in Dubai since 2 years now.
Oh, brilliant. And how are you finding the last 2 years in Dubai?
I love it. I absolutely love it.
What do you love about Dubai?
Number one, I feel it's a judgment-free zone.
Okay.
Because back home, I felt a little unwanted.
Why did you say that?
Because I'm not following the norms as per the society.
Yes.
I'm 31 and single. So obviously,
I think I'm going to ask you the question which a lot of your rishtedars are asking, Sonam, शादी कब करोगी?
मेरे पास इसका जवाब नहीं है.
But it's interesting, a lot of your content which goes viral is about single women, right? And what's your audience like? Is it single women or men watching or the married women watching?
Most content creators, people say that, oh, this girl, she only has male following. That's why she's getting where she wants to go. And, sometimes you just post some revealing content and people say that, okay, it's only boys who are following. But I take pride in this that I have 70% women following and only 30% male following. Maybe because I offend them a lot with my content.
I'm going to ask, where are all the single men not following you?
No, I think they get offended. Because my content is very progressive and it's anti-patriarchy. So it kind of offends people who are patriarchal.
Yes.
So.
But where did this anti-patriarchal content come from? Where did you start? What was your first reel like that Shaadi Kab Karogi?
My first reel was extremely simple, honestly. It wasn't anti-patriarchal. So it was me showing up in a lehenga on my first Bumble date.
Right.
And I showed the reaction of the guy, which was really cute. But the hatred that I started getting is when I was like, okay, there's potential here.
Yeah, all right. You do get a lot of hatred on some of your reels, right? Especially the ones which go super viral.
I tried to understand why do you get hatred, right? So, if your reel is going viral, that means, my viral reels are what? It reaches 10 million people.
Yes.
Now, 10 million people don't have the same mindset.
Mm.
You get praise and you will obviously get hatred
Yes.
because not everyone has the same mindset and not
Yes.
everyone would agree with that. And there are people who want to criticize you, who want to
Yeah.
categorically mention it to you
Yeah.
that you are terrible. So
Yes.
that's how it goes, and that's why I don't care about it at all.
What are these hateful comments like?
Okay, they are terrible, but let me tell you a couple. The one of the comment that I received is your nose is too long, and I keep receiving it over and over. And I'm like, how are you scanning my nose? The other one that I receive is mostly on my measurement that, oh, malnutrition,
Yeah, they want you to be 36, 24, 36.
Exact, yeah. But
Yeah,
which
but-
is something that I'm not, and I'm so comfortable in my skin that I don't care about it. But sometimes I feel like, does it really matter? Is it like, how is it?
It's interesting how the definition of beauty is so standardized in a way, isn't it? And like you are comfortable, you are happy, you are positive, you are empowered. Like what else would you want a woman to be with?
Exactly. But that doesn't stop me from working out and being
Yes.
fit.
Do these trolls ever affect your mental health? Like, do you take it to bed?
Sometimes it
Yeah.
does. If it's something related to my insecurity, which
Yes.
I already know in my head that I'm
Yes.
not comfortable
What are you
with.
insecure about? Sonam?
Okay, number one, let me just tell you, I don't think I've told this, but I'm conscious of my accent.
Okay, why?
Yeah.
Desi accent?
Yeah, like, I don't know why. Maybe because I'm surrounded by American and British friends. So
Right.
that's why maybe I'm conscious of it. And I'm not very comfortable talking in front of camera
Right.
because of my accent. So that kind of affects
But we got
me.
you on a podcast, so I think you're doing brilliant.
Thank you. Yeah, so
Yes.
2023 is to break all those barriers and come
Right.
out of it. Yeah.
That's
the
really
idea.
interesting, and thank you for coming on this podcast for that. Going back to the insecurities in mental health, how do you treat yourself, or how do you come out of it, and what do you tell yourself to get back in action and post the next reel the next day?
Number one, I'm surrounded by very good people.
Mhm.
My friends and even my parents, they support me a lot when it comes to Instagram and stuff. So when I tell them that this comment is affecting me, they
Yes.
tell me that, do you think Deepika Padukone won't be receiving such hatred? Do you
Yeah,
think like
I'm sure.
other
Yeah.
celebs don't receive it? So that's when I realized that it's not just me. It's
Yes.
people will be there everywhere, and
Yeah.
you have to pick and choose what affects you and what doesn't. So you have to become kind of immune.
I think the more you grow, the more probably love and hatred you would receive. So it's part of your
It's
content
a part
creation
of-
journey,
yeah.
isn't it?
Right.
And you do a lot of collaborations on your posts, right? So how do you think about these posts? What does content creation look like for Sonam Priani, right? How do you brainstorm content? How do you decide what I'm going to post today or not?
With brands, I feel I fight a lot with brands because
Why do you say that?
because most of them want to make like super professional looking content.
Yes.
But that doesn't do well on Instagram.
Okay.
What does well is real organic form
Yeah.
of content.
And raw content.
Exactly,
in a way, right?
like raw,
Yeah. Yeah.
which has some bit of truth to it,
Yes.
which has some bit of being able to relate to it, so
Yeah.
and a little bit of humor as well.
Yes.
So when you have a mix of all this and you try to make it as real as possible,
Mm-hmm.
that's when it goes viral.
Yeah.
So and brands would try to make it more professional. That's the reason I fight with brands, but then
And you win, I'm assuming.
yeah, but then there's a middle ground, right? We
Okay.
agree to
Agree to.
whatever, a mix of both. But
Yes.
according to me, that's what makes your content interesting. That's what keeps your audience on your toes. That's what makes them want to see you every day.
There are tons of women who want to be fashion content creators. What you are doing is kind of an inspiration to so many of us and women out there. How do you start? What's your tips or your gyan on how to become a fashion content creator?
So, first of all, you need to make up your mind that
Okay.
you want to do it. Because when you want to do it, you have to be 100% in it.
Yes.
So, number one, believe in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And number two would be, so I am a person who would just jump into the pool and then learn swimming rather than, first trying to learn and then jumping in the pool. So I would say that just now is the time, like start making now. Even
Yes.
if it's raw, even if it's not perfect, it's fine. You have
Right.
to keep posting. That's when you learned in the journey.
So believe in yourself and start your journey and you'll figure out.
Yes. In the way,
Yes.
yeah. Because if you keep waiting, then you'll
Yeah.
keep waiting.
No, brilliant. But and how do they make videos which captures the interest of the audience? Because most of your reels, like 10 million views on YouTube and Instagram, both. Like I think both your platforms are doing brilliant. How do you do that?
So there's a lot of it. There is technical bit to it. For
Mhm.
example, you have to shoot, like I only shoot on iPhone.
Okay.
I only shoot in daylight.
Okay.
It has to be portrait, not landscape.
Right.
So there are technical bits, and
Yes.
then there is this other side of it, which is make it as relatable as possible.
Yes.
Keep it, say, crisp and as small as possible, so that the attention span doesn't
Yeah.
lose. And then add a bit of truth to it, so people would love it.
What is the bit of truth?
Like, let's take example of my
Yes.
31-year-old reel, right?
Yes.
It started with 31-year-old me on my way to my younger cousin's wedding.
Yes.
So that 31 age in itself was a fact, which none of my audience knew. So
Yes.
they loved it. They could relate to it.
Yeah. And but 31-year-old unmarried going to your cousin's wedding, right? That reel did amazingly well. But did you have second thoughts while posting it?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, you will
Did you-
have second thoughts every time you
Yes.
post a reel, because
Yeah.
that is something bold. It's not
Yes.
very normal to do it, right? If
Yeah.
it was a normal fashion reel, me wearing sari, it's fine. But this had a loud message inside.
Yes.
So it was scary, honestly.
And do people find it sarcastic sometimes, some of your reels?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, mostly men. They get
Are they
offended.
insecure?
But women, it's so surprising that women find it very peaceful, very soothing to them. In a way, they feel it as a safe space where
Yes.
they can come and speak to me. I have so many DMs where women come and tell me their problems, their
Right,
everyday problems.
right.
So,
So,
you know,
You are almost the voice of these women, isn't
right,
it?
exactly. They
Yeah.
think that I am the voice, so they start resharing it on their stories,
Ah.
and they want to tell their story with my reel.
Yes. Some of the women and a lot of the women, I would say, do not have the audacity to publish something telling the world that I'm 31, I'm single, and I don't have a boyfriend, probably not trying to get married also anytime soon. But you do it with full confidence out there, right? So they see themselves in you and putting it out on social media.
Right, yeah.
And yeah, is that
And also it's achievable. I mean, the sari that I wore, for example,
yes.
anyone could wear it. It's not
Right.
like you
Yeah.
won't be able to wear
Which
it.
is where I think you're raw and your content it
Comes
doesn't
out.
look like it's a photo shoot done in a studio or anything,
Yes,
isn't it?
yeah.
Brilliant. So I'm going to move on to my favorite section, and we call it Direct Dil Se. This is where we have a hamper for our guests, and you have to it's called Direct Dil Se. So no thinking of the answers, and we'll give you some options, and you'll tell us what you prefer. Yeah. So there you go. What is your favorite fashion trend of all time?
Blazers.
Why do you say that?
Oversized
Oversized
actually. Yeah.
blazers.
Because I feel extremely comfortable. It's so my look. Mostly the boyfriend styles, like boyfriend shirt
Yeah.
or boyfriend denims.
What is the worst fashion advice you got or you've given?
Okay, I have given. I can't think of anything. Pass. I don't think I give worst fashion advice.
What's the most expensive item in your wardrobe that you own and are you very happy?
I have the red bottom shoes.
Is that your favorite brand for shoes or do you like something else?
No, I like Prada. I like Dior.
Are you a brand conscious person?
No.
No? So
No.
would you buy something from the streets of Janpat?
I
And wear
would.
it?
I would
Yeah?
love it. If it kind of suits my personality and my fashion sense, then I would definitely buy it.
Are you organized or are you just go with the flow kind of a person?
Go with the flow.
So do you-
Totally.
Do you plan your content for the next 1 month?
Yes. I
Yes.
do. I mean, in content, you can't be unorganized. But generally, I'm unorganized. Messy. As messy
what
as
does
possible.
your room look like?
Terrible. Right now that I'm thinking.
Great. What's the most adventurous thing you've done so far?
Okay, so I am waterphobic and I did scuba diving, forcing myself to do it. So according to me, that's the adventurous.
That's
because
brilliant.
I'm waterphobic.
No, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
All right. What's the most complimented piece of clothing or jewelry that you own?
I have this masaba sari that I really like. I love masaba. Like, I feel I can relate to it.
Why do you say that? Why do you love masaba?
Because it's a mix of bohemian and Indian
Yeah.
and a little contemporary as well.
Right.
A mix of everything. So I think it's my personality.
Ah, brilliant. What's the most memorable fashion show or event you've attended or you've participated in?
I think my most memorable would be when I used to model in college. So I've studied fashion. I've done masters in fashion tech, and I used to model for my juniors. So that's the most memorable
Now,
one.
what was that like? Train them for fashion shows or?
So my juniors were fashion designers,
Right.
and they would design clothes. So everyone would just run to me and be like, "Be my model, please." So
Brilliant.
yeah,
That
that's
sounds
the favorite memory.
very nice. What is the biggest challenge of being a fashion influencer?
Biggest challenge I would say would be to translate your imagination into content as a fashion creator, because you can think of so many things, but to be able to translate it on screen is the most difficult part.
Yeah.
Also, like, if you're a normal content creator who's not making fashion content, you just don't have to dress up and show up, right?
Yeah.
You can just make content, fun
Yeah.
content, everything. But when it's fashion, you have to every time deck up and
Yes.
so there's a lot of it that goes behind.
Yeah, and I think the behind the scenes is more hard work than what
Yeah.
comes out in a 10-second reel. But do you do your own makeup?
So it depends. If I have a big brand collaboration, then I try to get a makeup artist or collab with makeup artists. But if it's a very simple reel, then I do my own.
Brilliant. And who's your fashion inspiration?
So number one, I refer to this platform. It's called WGSN. It's like a Bible for fashion.
Okay.
So it has all the trends that you want to see throughout the season. So even SS Spring Summer 25 trends are there on the portal.
Okay.
So I refer to that. And
Yes.
then there's a blogger called Chiara Ferrani. I love her. I love her style.
I've been hearing about Chiara Ferrani, but what do you love about her content? Like,
So, number one, again, she's extremely realistic. It
Right.
feels real. It doesn't feel fake. She has a cute family, so she posts their pictures as well.
what are the next big milestones that you're looking forward to?
I really want to attend fashion weeks, Met Galas. So that's something that I'm looking forward to now. I'm trying to get some sponsorships to reach there
Yes.
where I want to
Inshallah, that'll happen very,
Along
very
with
soon.
creating fun content, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Inshallah. Yeah.
Absolutely. And what did it feel like getting the Filmfare Award?
It was super, super cute,
Did
honestly.
you expect it? Were you like, I'm there, or were you a bit nervous?
No, honestly, I was so surprised at how tolerant this place is, because if you look at my content, it's primarily Indian.
Yes.
So I felt like I don't stand a chance, because here it's filled with content creators, and and when it comes to fashion, it's like bang on. So I was like, no, but I feel the way they actually appreciated an Indian content creator, I loved.
That's amazing. My last question to you is any gyan for our audiences and the women out there, because you are a voice of a lot of women out there, and what do you want to tell them?
Okay, number one, all women should be financially independent,
Brilliant.
because then your relationships wouldn't be just dependent on survival. Your relationships would become better because you wouldn't be surviving on someone else's finances. So that's something that I feel every woman should be independent. They need to have their own lives.
Yes.
Apart from their partners or their parents' lives.
Yes.
And and then third is believe in yourself and do it.
Amazing. But just to know about your parents' support in Sonam being Sonam today, right? Are they happy with you being, surviving alone in Dubai, moving to Dubai as a new city? Were they supportive, or did they have a bit of a push when you told them you're moving to Dubai?
They had, honestly. I'll be extremely honest.
Yes.
But they then understood that this girl, she wants to live her life. And they understood that if this is my happiness, then it's theirs. But it's extremely hard to make them understand content and Instagram. Because I come from a very small town. It's in Gujarat. It's called Bhuj. So the families are traditional. It's conventional. It's not very modern. So when they see my Instagram, especially like people surrounded, padosis, they're like, oh, ye to modeling kar rahi hai, ye wo, they don't understand that it's content creation. So it's hard, but they understand,
Brilliant. I think content creation is a hard game. It looks easy for people from outside, but what goes into making that 10-second reel is a lot of planning,
Tell
a lot
me
of
about
execution. I know, a lot of getting dressed, a lot of planning your transitions, right? So it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, you've been amazing. So and obviously the rightful owner of this beautiful hamper. We call it the Empowered and Ambitious hamper.
Wow.
It's got some vouchers for you to shop some jewelry. It's got some candles for a relaxing spa break.
Yay, won it. Thank you.
And we call it that when women support each other, incredible things happen.
Thank you.
So thank you, Sonam, for coming on our show. It's been amazing hosting you. I think you are one voice of single women out there making a difference to this world and telling the story of all those women out there. So we wish you more and more success in times to come.
Thank you so much for having me.
Brilliant. Thank you.